Gibson Super V. I don't think you used to call it a Super V because it's the wrong shape. That was just played through a Fender Princeton Reverb 68 reissue, and I've got Thomastik bebop round wounds on this guitar. Now this is one of the lesser known models in the Gibson archtop range history, and it's one that's no longer in production. I believe it ran in production from 1978 to 1993. This one's from the early 90s. Now this is a master model, so I assume that's a master built one, and usually on the label on the inside it's signed by one person, and it's signed by Jim Triggs, who I think was head of Gibson Custom Shop at the time this was built. And yeah, I've obviously googled this guy's name once I got this guitar, and he left Gibson and makes fantastic looking archtops in the Gibson vein and also D'Angelico vein, and they look absolutely stunning. I think he also makes maybe mandolins as well. So a bit of the background of this particular model. What is it? What are the features of it? Let's think back to 1978. So why this model came into existence. You've got the L5, you've got the Super 400, you've got a 175. You've got the Jimmy Smith models as well. So there's already quite a lot of choice out there. They had so they had the success of those models, and for me this guitar probably came about as a need just to have more products to sell to guitar players, something which I think is through the roof these days. So this guitar really is like the L5 and the Super 400 had a child. It's an L5 body, so 17 inch rather than the I think 18 inch that the Super 400 is, and then it's a Super 400 neck with these inlays and this really oversized headstock and the Gibson custom logo. Let's look at some of these features close up. So you've got these lovely, gorgeous inlays, which I think are really, really beautiful, really striking. You've got the binding that you'd expect on the fretboard there, that binding, which is nice. That's also on the body of the guitar. We've got the finger tailpiece. Now on this you can adjust the tension of each individual string. I haven't played with it yet, I haven't had this for long, and I'm going to get it set up I think pretty soon. You'll notice I have a thing there to stop the tailpiece ringing. That's one thing. Without that it does ring a fair bit, as you'd expect. We've got two humbuckers with obviously gold hardware, and then if we take a look at the back you can see it's got quite a nice sense of flame on it. It's carved on the top and the back, all solid wood. And as I said, we've got that Gibson split diamond logo that you get on the ES355 and the Super 400. As you can see, it's quite a checked headstock. I think they missed something there in production. And on the back, you also get the diamond on the back of the headstock, which is pretty cool. Now, some Super 5s I've seen with one pickup, a floating pickup in the neck. Personally, I don't mind having two pickups. I can get a nice mellow sound on the neck, and then actually, do you know what? Sometimes for rhythm guitar playing, maybe not this bright, maybe sometimes you might want a clearer sound when you're playing in an ensemble. So having the ability to switch to the middle is useful sometimes, I find. Just if you're in a room where it's really dark sounding, you might want to have your rhythm cut through a bit more. So I find it quite helpful, but I largely obviously live on the neck pickup. Obviously you heard the tones at the start. Now for me, how does this compare to the L5? Well, interestingly enough, when I first got this, my partner observed, she said, sounds like a happier, more joyful sounding guitar than my L5, which I totally got when she said it, because my L5 is super, super mellow, and it can come across a bit moody sometimes. It's a strange way to describe a guitar's tone. I think this one has a really nice top end. Really pleased with that sound you get, particularly on these on the top strings. It's mellow, and obviously I can EQ it a bit more, maybe bring a bit more brightness to it. I've actually got the tone all the way up as on my guitar as well, actually. There's a it's quite nice. It's not too dull. I think it's warm, but yeah, say without being too dull. And there's a nice sense of attack in the top end with, you know, obviously you can change EQ through the tone and on the guitar and on the amp. But again, like my R5, I don't feel I have to play with the settings too much to achieve the tone I want. It's kind of plug in and play, which is always my aim. Here's some rhythm guitar with a pick. Nice sounds to me. Fingerstyle. Nice sounds. You get nice string definition. Personally, I think you hear the individual voices of the chord, which is always what I want. Maybe some Bossa. And the single note sounds I'm really happy with, you know. Yeah, pleased with overall the individual tones, particularly how they cut across in a band situation. I've only gigged this guitar once, given the current scenario, but yeah, really happy so far. So I'd love to know what you think of this model, whether you've ever come across one. You know, when I was doing my research into it, a guy I really enjoyed listening to his playing, Peter Mazza, I think a New York-based jazz guitar player, really beautiful playing. He's got a blonde one, I think, with 2 pickups too. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of the tone, how you think, if you know, regular viewers of my channel, how you think it compares to the L5, and see what you think. Anyway, jazz guitar lessons, jazz demos like this, every Wednesday, every Saturday. Be sure to tune in, subscribe, leave me a comment, hit that like button, it all really helps boost the channel. Until next time, you take care.